Drank with childhood friend Ryan, we hooked up. Agreed to pretend it never happened. But I couldn't forget, he was skilled. Lynn dragged me to a bar with male models. Ryan showed up. Pulled me into an alley. Wasn't I enough for you? Welcome to my channel. If you like this story, please click to subscribe. There are more wonderful stories waiting for you to listen to. Chapter 1. Awake? Ryan propped himself up on the bed, eyebrow cocked lazily. Last night's memories flooded back. Peeking under the sheets confirmed it completely naked. 26 years of virginity didn't stop me from faking composure. Yep. My voice cracked. He watched with amused eyes as I clumsily dressed under the covers. My legs nearly gave out when standing. Ryan caught me mid-collapse, our bare skin reigniting sparks. I shoved him away. What's wrong, Lucy? He asked, uncharacteristically gentle. Since when did he use pet names? We'd been wrestling over candy and trading insults since kindergarten. Now here he was, shirtless with morning light tracing his abs exactly where sweat had dripped last night. My traitorous body responded even as I backed away. If you tell anyone about this, you're dead. Ryan smirked, tongue pressing against his cheek. I should be worried about my reputation. Annoyingly hot even while being insufferable. I barely remembered to retort whoever talks first is the dog. Before limping home, Lynn tracked me down that afternoon, catching me mid-hobble. Our awkward stare-down could have frozen lava. She looked at me like I was an alien, dramatically ripped off her sunglasses with her mouth hanging open. I tried to play it cool as I opened the door, though my jelly legs nearly gave out. The moment I stepped inside, I collapsed onto the couch. That damn Ryan! A walking human vibrator. Lynn yanked me upright, her tone dripping with mischief. My disheveled appearance told the whole story, wild hair resembling post-fireworks debris. Basically wearing a neon walk of shame sign. No point hiding from this seasoned veteran. I hooked up with Ryan. I confessed. Blame it on tequila. That traitorous liquid somehow transformed the guy I usually trash talk into Adonis incarnate. That crisp white shirt clinging to his 8-pack abs, God. Last night he'd been harder than my grandma's washboard. Lynn's eyes lit up like Times Square. You? With Ryan? Her disbelief stung. Suddenly I felt defensive, avoiding eye contact. I doubled down. We're adults. This is normal adult behavior. Since when does 26-year-old virgin energy count as normal? She saw right through me. He's worse, I countered. What self-respecting woman would date that high-maintenance perfectionist? Her smirk widened. Are you telling me he wrecked you on the first try? Not the point. Though technically, Ryan's bedroom skills had evolved from awkward fumbling to full-on conquest real quick. Even through tequila haze, I'd felt that addictive mix of pleasure-pain crescendoing into oblivion. But does this shit always last all night? My body felt like a dismantled IKEA chair, hugging a throw pillow. I flushed, remembering last night's acrobatics. Then Lynn dropped the atomic question, but Lucy, did you guys use protection? Blank stare. Rookie mistake. I genuinely couldn't recall. This required consulting the source. After Lynn left, I showered and stared at my phone. Our last text mocked me, frowny face, whoever bails is a coward, glaring above the unsent. Did we use condoms last night? I flopped around bed like a suffocating fish, nearly throwing out my battered back. The incoming FaceTime nearly made me choke. Ryan. Did he forget too? 3 shaky breaths later, I answered and blurted out before he could speak, we need to talk about last night. I'll ask you, did we use protection last night? After all, I'm stubborn and prideful. No way I'd let him interrogate me first. Ryan paused on the other end of the line, sounding like he was gritting his teeth. Lucy, you want to talk about this? Now we're getting somewhere. Obviously. We're adults. What happens stays between us. But safety comes first. I forced nonchalance into my voice. The moment I finished speaking, Ryan spat out icy words. 3. The whole box. 3? That bastard. My jaw clenched. His tone shifted to something dangerously amused when he spoke again. Anything else you're curious about? I remember every detail. I slammed the phone down. Memories flooded back, Ryan's feverish gaze. The way his throat worked as he moved. That relentless rhythm, God. I didn't sleep a wink, staring at the ceiling until dawn painted it gray. His face haunted me, rubbing the massive dark circles under my eyes. I grabbed my phone and spam called Lynn. The second she picked up, I blurted my sleepless night conclusion. Lynn, what if I'm into that dog Ryan? The realization hit like lightning. We've known each other since we were 6. 20 years. Our first meeting ended with us brawling over candy at school, both getting our asses beat by furious parents. Every interaction since has been warfare. When his voice cracked during puberty, I doubled over laughing. Swallow a frog? You sound like a damn pond. He'd retaliated during my growth spurt. Were you always the short? Did your genes give up? We've spent decades sharpening insults. So why would I catch feelings now? Because he's good in bed? Shallow. So shallow. I mentally flogged myself. My distracted state ruined Lynn's shopping trip. When she held up a red dress and I robotically said looks great for the 10th time, she snapped. It's from the children's section. She crossed her arms, exasperated. It's just a guy. If you like him, go get him. Chase Ryan? Impossible. Since childhood, Lucy and Ryan had always been rivals. I still vividly remember how he mocked me in middle school when I failed a math test, sneering that my stupidity might contaminate his IQ. If he ever discovered my crush on him, he'd undoubtedly find new ways to humiliate me. Shaking my head with forced composure, I insisted. No. Absolutely not. Lynn smirked knowingly after hearing this. She tapped my forehead with her fingertip, her words casting a spell over me. You're just touch-starved from being single too long. Maybe you don't actually like Ryan at all. Her mischievous grin widened as she dragged me into a boutique, holding up a backless miniskirt against me. Tonight, I'll show you real life. At Twilight Bar, I kept tugging at my hemline while Lynn summoned 10 male models. My eyes nearly popped out. Every one of them had broad shoulders, tapered waists, and endless legs. Was this what I'd been missing? My previous existence seemed pathetic in comparison. Pick your favorites, Lynn urged. When I froze, she took charge. You two get her drinks. You pair play games with her. The rest stay here for her viewing pleasure. As the bass throbbed and alcohol buzzed through me, Ryan faded from memory. Male model number 2 leaned closer during a chocolate biscuit game, his handsome face inches from mine when suddenly, calloused fingers pinched my lips shut. The black pinky ring told me everything. My blood ran cold as I turned to see Ryan looming behind the booth, his rainbow-lit eyes blazing like fireworks. He tilted my chin up, breath hot against my ear but voice icy. Lucy. Brave little thing. Aren't we? His arms caged me as I struggled uselessly against his chest. Dragged outside, the night air slapped my flushed skin. Ryan backed me against an alley wall, thumb smearing my lipstick as he traced my mouth. Am I not enough for you? Our noses almost touched when he dipped his head. I remembered everything about that night, the softness of his lips, the way he, shivering. I averted my eyes but Ryan persisted. Well? His tailored pants rubbed against my bare thighs as I squirmed. You're average. The lie barely escaped before he flashed that dangerous smirk. Suddenly his suit jacket enveloped my waist. Ryan lifted me effortlessly into his Mercedes, boxing me in with muscular arms as he buckled my seatbelt. The door slammed shut on my pathetic escape attempts. The car door slammed shut. I was momentarily stunned, and by the time I fumbled for the seatbelt, Ryan had already locked us in. He turned to me. I don't know what's considered normal, Why don't you show me? When the car stopped in the parking garage, I unbuckled but couldn't open the door. This damn show-off changes sports cars every other day. I can't even figure out the door handle on this model. I glared at him. Ryan finally leaned over to release the mechanism. When he leaned in, our breaths mingled in the charged space between us. I could see my flushed reflection in his dilated pupils. Ryan's Adam's apple bobbed as his gaze locked onto my lips. Voice gravelly. May I? The question died on my tongue. His lips claimed mine before I could respond. Lucy. Open up. He murmured against my mouth. Against all reason. I complied. The kiss exploded into desperate hunger, all claiming pressure and slick heat. When I pushed at his chest, he trapped my hand against the headrest. Fingers interlacing. Denying this attraction was pointless. I was falling for Ryan, hard. Self-delusion wasn't an option anymore. I ended up in Ryan's bed again. He carried me straight to the bedroom the moment we entered his penthouse. His fingers trailed up my thigh, hiking the skirt toward my hips. Lucy, he growled, settling me astride him. Still think this is normal? I couldn't form words. Not with his calloused palms mapping my bare skin. Ryan showed no mercy, driving deeper with calculated precision until I bit my lip bloody. God. My stubborn pride was literally choking me. He gentled the assault, laving the abused flesh with his tongue. Don't hurt yourself, sweetheart. Bite me instead. Rolling us over, he pinned my wrists above my head. Don't worry, I'll take full responsibility. The scream tore from my throat as I woke tangled in Ryan's arms. Morning light striped his face through the blinds, gilding those absurd lashes. My hovering finger almost traced his jaw before I snatched it back. Even relationship virgin me knew better than to believe bedroom promises. I dressed in stealth mode. Third time sneaking out, I was getting too good at this. The cab ride home buzzed with Lynn's relentless texts. Her latest, I know you're alive but OMG he's totally into you. Did he? I pressed my forehead to the cool glass. Ryan's type was supposedly sweet and nurturing, his exact words during that awkward dorm heart-to-heart. Meanwhile, I'm all sharp edges and defensive sarcasm. As if. I thumbed back. After updating Lynn and letting her know I was safe, I headed straight to the shower upon getting home. The marks on my skin made it impossible to forget Ryan. That casual I'll take responsibility joke of his had actually made me consider forcing something that wasn't meant to be. Given our family's close ties, if anyone found out about what happened between Ryan and me, marriage would have been practically inevitable. Thankfully reason prevailed. Ryan doesn't love me. Pushing this would only make him resent Muhile, destroying both our futures. Better to keep pretending it was just adults being careless. Everyone could accept that narrative. My phone kept blaring relentlessly in the living room. I already knew who it was. I took my time showering deliberately slow. When I finally checked, the caller ID confirmed it was Ryan. What were we now? Childhood friends who'd slept together? I silenced the device, tossed it aside, and yanked the blackout curtains shut. The bedroom plunged into darkness except for that glaring screen. Burying myself under the comforter like an ostrich, I tried ignoring the bitter ache in my chest, the kind where tears won't even come. I drifted into uneasy sleep only to be jolted awake by the doorbell. Who is it? I mumbled, shuffling to the entryway. The moment I reflexively opened the door, Ryan stood there radiating dangerous energy, his gaze stormy. I tried slamming the door but he easily wedged his shoulder through, advancing until I stumbled backward onto the couch. He caged me in with arms braced on either side, creating an inescapable perimeter. Ryan, what are you doing? That's my line. His voice was low, carrying a barely concealed anger. Twice. You sleep with me then bolt both times. Lucy, what do you take me for? Adults make mistakes when they drink. Why are you making this such a big deal? Can't we just pretend nothing happened? My words dwindled to a whisper, eyes dropping to avoid his face. He barked a humorless laugh. So you think we can go back to being just friends? Act like none of this ever occurred? My heart pounded chaotically. Yet cowardice kept me from confessing. I twisted my fingers tightly. Aren't we always been friends? It was just accidents. Ryan surged to his feet, looking down at me with shifting intensity. Last night was an accident too? He left the sentence hanging, massaging his temples with wounded frustration before exhaling sharply. Fine. Lucy. Don't regret this. He strode out without glancing back. How could I not regret it? I lost track of time sitting frozen on the couch until nightfall, when Mom called insisting I come home immediately for some emergency. It took me a while to realize I should change clothes before heading out. The atmosphere turned heavy the moment I stepped into the living room. My parents sat rigidly on the couch, their scrutinizing gazes pinning me down. Lucy Smith. Mom began. What exactly did you do to hurt Ryan's feelings? Lucy? Ryan? Whose parents were they anyway? A sinking feeling hit me as I played dumb. What are you talking about? We know everything, Dad said gravely. My heart skipped a beat. Did they know about that night with Ryan? How? Did you lead Ryan on and break his heart? Mom pressed. Before I could process this, they gestured toward the bathroom where Ryan emerged dramatically, red-rimmed eyes suggesting recent tears. Auntie. Uncle. He said with practiced vulnerability. Lucy would never intentionally hurt anyone. There must be some misunderstanding. His gaze dropped. But after what happened between us, her acting like nothing occurred, it's been difficult. His masterclass in emotional manipulation made me nauseous. He approached, whispering words meant only for me, told you you'd regret this. The smirk hidden behind his sorrowful facade confirmed this entire charade had been premeditated. Does he like me? Doesn't he? Does he? I mutilated Mom's prized rosebush on the balcony, petals raining down as I debated his motives until dinner forced me inside. Ryan sat beside me, deftly removing fish bones before placing tender flesh in my bowl. Mom beamed at him like he'd hung the moon. Ryan dear, you know our Lucy's always been stubborn. If she gives you trouble, just tell me, I'll straighten her out. I choked on my rice. Mom. Ryan's eyes crinkled with performative warmth. Of course. Mrs. Smith. She can be quite willful sometimes. His adoring look almost fooled me before I remembered our reality. We're not what you think. I blurted. 3 pairs of eyes snapped to me. Ryan's brow furrowed with Oscar-worthy confusion. Since when aren't we? Lucy and Smith. Mom scolded. Don't you dare mess Ryan around like this. Their united front left me speechless. After dinner, our escape got blocked. Work this out tonight, Dad insisted, conveniently mentioning he'd converted the guest room into a dark room. My bedroom stood as the only option. Ryan feigned reluctance. It's all right, Auntie. I'll take the couch. I nodded in agreement, only to be met with my mom's warning glare. What couch? Ryan, you're staying with Lucy. Before I could protest, she cut me off. It's not like you haven't shared a room before. I thought. What does that mean? Since when did that phrasing sound so full of implications? That night found us lying stiffly side by side again. The bedside lamp cast amber shadows as I burrowed deeper into the covers. My voice muffled. Why did you come here? And why feed my parents those suggestive remarks? Think they suspect something? He turned halfway, his gaze steady yet inscrutable. My pulse quickened under his scrutiny. I bit my lip, forcing nonchalance into my tone. You made it sound like there's more between us. Ryan didn't look away, his voice dropping. Twice. Lucy. After 2 times. You still think this means nothing? A muscle twitched in his jaw. Or is this something you do with anyone? The accusation froze me. Given my own careless words, maybe I'd invited this perception. Heat flooded my cheeks as I stared resolutely at the ceiling. Truth was, I feared losing even his friendship if I laid everything bare. Then why avoid me? His relentless questions suffocated me. When the first tear escaped, I rolled over to bury myself completely, unsure whether I hated him or myself more. Why complicate things? Wasn't friendship enough? The blankets yanked back. Ryan's expression fractured at my tear-streaked face. For suspended moments, the air crystallized between us before he exhaled roughly. Eyes blazing yet calm. Lucy. We stopped being friends the first time you kissed me. His sports car roared to life downstairs, mirroring its owner's turmoil. I slipped home before dawn, the inevitable finally crashing through my denial. We became experts at avoidance afterward. His notifications went muted. His social media feeds vanished from mine. Yet the city conspired against us. A mutual friend's Instagram story flashed his image days later. Some unfamiliar girl leaning close in the frame. The pang caught me off guard. No amount of rationalizing could undo what we'd shared. We both deserved fresh starts. Mounting work deadlines helped. Mostly. I never expected Ryan Wilson to reach out to me again. After working late one night, I stepped out of the elevator only to be enveloped in Ryan's arms waiting by the entrance. Lucy, how could you be so cruel? He murmured with alcohol on his breath, though his gaze remained startlingly clear through the haze of intoxication. Trapped against his chest, I fought back stinging tears while maintaining composure. Ryan, you're drunk. He didn't deny it, steering me toward my apartment door with possessive determination. Drunk? Maybe. But not for the first time. He countered, intertwining our fingers to override the keypad lock. The moment the door clicked open, I found myself swept off my feet. His lips descended in relentless waves, teeth grazing my earlobe as he whispered, "You never push me away. Lucy. Why keep rejecting me?" My fingers instinctively traced the defined ridges beneath his half-unbuttoned shirt, feeling him shudder as he carried me toward the bedroom. Dazed by the sudden intimacy, I barely registered when Ryan gently unfurled my clenched fist. His thumb brushed my palm before placing a fragile pink petal against my skin, its delicate surface slightly browned at the edges yet radiating warmth from his touch. "Can't you feel it?" The whispered question hung between us as my pulse thundered. The petal burned like live ember against my palm. Ryan's voice thickened with emotion near my ear. "You'd rather ask flowers than confront me." My breath hitched as realization struck. He knew about the childhood game where we pluck petals to divine each other's feelings. Time suspended when our eyes met. His gaze molten yet completely sober. "It's me," he declared, enunciating each word like sacred vow. "I love you." Fireworks detonated in my veins, years of forced indifference crumbling as his fingers slid over my eyelids. "Don't look at me like that, Lucy," he rasped, Adam's apple bobbing, "or I won't be responsible for what happens next." I became the instigator, crashing our lips together. When my hands wandered lower, Ryan gripped my wrists with playful reproach. "You won't ghost me again after this, will you?" The pout in his voice melted my resolve. "Never." I breathed, sealing the promise as he pinned my hands above my head. Cold metal suddenly circled my ring finger, his signature pinky ring now gleaming where engagement bands rest. "Marry me," he entreated, the question more demand than request through ragged breaths. Logic drowned in sensation as I nodded. His triumphant smile, the last coherent image before the world dissolved into heat and whispered endearments. The last thing I remember is Ryan gently brushing my hair and pulling me into his embrace. His warm breath brushed against my ear as he whispered, "Lucy, I love you." And